I would like to propose some ideas. I'm hoping that sharing my thoughts may provoke a conversation on social media regarding harvesting and storing corn silage. This isn't about whether I am right or wrong, but about what we might learn from each other. Please visit Ag Material Handling on Facebook to add to this discussion. In the pursuit of feeding all these ladies annually, we haul tens of thousands of tons of corn silage from thousands of acres during a chaotic harvest that can last weeks. We bring it back to the farm from miles away, where we pack, cover, and store it. We preserve it in piles, sometimes hundreds of feet long, so that months later we can feed it out of a pile that is constantly moving away from us. If we are lucky enough to have a fleet of assorted vehicles large enough to keep the choppers running, and lucky enough to stay out of the mud, we still haul 10 to 15% of the crop that will eventually be lost to shrink in the fermentation process. For argument's sake, I'm going to use an example assuming that our harvest this year is 24,000 ton and that some of our fields are 5 miles away. I started my quest in reverse, looking at the distance we travel from the feed mixer to the silage pile. There's a cost to driving a loader from one place to another. Since it doesn't add value to the feed, this is transportation waste. After looking at several feed loaders, I find ranges from 60 to 90 cents for every 100 foot you travel. But you can check for yourself using your loader hour meter and odometer if equipped. If you haul that 24,000 ton, 2.5 tons at a time, 300 feet, the cost to move the silage alone with a loader is $18,720 a year. So ideally, we want feed as close to the mixer and in the quantity we need when we need it. Next, I identified transportation waste on the road. Shrinkage is inevitable through fermentation. Losses of 10 to 15% are not uncommon. But the entire harvest comes back to the farm, even though we could lose 2,400 to 3,600 ton to shrink. That's upwards of 144 25-ton truckloads that we're hauling for nothing. Speaking of trucks and tractors or mules or whatever you haul with, how many do you need to complete the harvest? 10, 20, 30? Do you hire haulers or a bunch of part-time employees that drive your fleet? How many pieces of equipment do you own that only get used 10 or 15% of the year because you need them during silage harvest? Even then, do you have enough equipment to keep the heart of the operation, the chopper, running? Or too many so that time is wasted waiting for a slot to get filled? Are you using high-cost hauling methods just to fill up the line of equipment? The big question, isn't it easier to manage equipment over short hauls? So here's what I'm thinking. Can't we store feed closer to the fields we are harvesting in? Maybe a few piles around the countryside is better than one big pile back at the farm. The advantages start with needing fewer pieces of equipment hauling during harvest since piles are closer to the field. Next, we would haul a couple of loads each day with our most efficient equipment, so travel cost is reduced. This reduces total upfront cost and spreads out costs through the year while increasing efficiency. Additionally, we won't be hauling shrink from fermentation. Also, when the feed hits the farm daily, it is placed right where the feeder needs it. It's not hundreds of feet away, saving loader time. Finally, we will have a more visible measure of waste coming off the pile, as well as a separate visual of feed coming from refusal, allowing us to better manage the source of waste and shrink. Here's a list of some of the things I put together as talking points. Please be open to looking at the status quo differently. I want your comments, and together we can reevaluate what we do every day. Please feel free to contact me at my email address if you need to contact me directly. You can also visit www.agmaterialhandling.com for more information. Thanks, and let's keep the discussion going.